The Roman Empire, once the epitome of power and civilization, was brought to its knees by a combination of internal rot, external pressures, and a series of catastrophic events that would ultimately lead to its downfall, demise so profound that it would take over 1,000 years for the Western world to recover. In the late 18th century, English historian Edward Gibbon would painstakingly chronicle this decline in his seminal work, The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, a 6-volume masterpiece that would shed light on the darkest corners of Rome's collapse. Gibbon's magnum opus, first published in February 1776, would span over 1,000 years of history, from the peak of Roman power in 98 AD to the fall of Byzantium in 1590, a sweeping narrative that would expose the intricate web of factors that contributed to the empire's demise. As the Roman Empire reached its zenith, its vast territories stretched from the sun-scorched deserts of North Africa to the misty isles of Britain, a testament to the ingenuity and martial prowess of its people. However, beneath the surface of this imposing edifice, cracks were beginning to appear, hairline fractures that would eventually grow into chasms, threatening the very foundations of the empire. The relentless pressure of constant warfare, the corrupting influence of absolute power, and the insidious spread of disease would all take their toll on the Roman state, weakening its institutions and eroding its moral fiber. Gibbon, with his characteristic detachment and analytical mind, would dissect these factors, laying bare the anatomy of the empire's decline, a post-mortem examination of a once great civilization. The publication of Gibbon's work was a major event in the intellectual circles of 18th-century Europe, with the first volume appearing in quarto in February 1776, courtesy of publishers William Strahan and Thomas Cadell. The book's reception was immediate and intense, with readers devouring the meticulously researched and elegantly written narrative, a tale of hubris and downfall that would captivate and unsettle in equal measure. Over the next decade, Gibbon would continue to refine his masterpiece, releasing successive revised editions, each one shedding new light on the complexities of the Roman Empire's collapse. Volumes 2 and 3 would appear in 1781, followed by the final 3 volumes, which would be published together in 1788, a culmination of over a decade's work, a testament to Gibbon's unwavering dedication to his craft. As the Roman Empire struggled to maintain its grip on power, the forces of chaos and disorder were gathering at its borders, a disparate array of barbarian tribes, each with their own distinct culture and martial traditions. The Huns, with their lightning-fast mounted archers, would prove particularly devastating, sweeping across the empire's northern borders like a plague, leaving destruction and despair in their wake. The empire's response to these external threats would be hampered by its own internal divisions, a toxic mix of corruption, nepotism, and petty squabbles that would weaken its institutions and undermine its ability to respond effectively to the growing crisis. Gibbon, with his characteristic insight, would highlight the role of these internal factors, demonstrating how the empire's own weaknesses would ultimately prove more destructive than any external enemy. The rise of Christianity would also play a significant role in the empire's decline, as the new faith, with its emphasis on otherworldly salvation, would erode the traditional Roman values of civic duty and patriotism. As the empire's institutions began to crumble, the Christian Church would fill the power vacuum, its bishops and clergy emerging as the new arbiters of power and influence. Gibbon, a product of the Enlightenment, would view this development with a mixture of fascination and skepticism, recognizing the complex interplay between the secular and sacred that would shape the course of Western history. The history of the decline and fall of the Roman Empire would meticulously chronicle this process, tracing the intricate web of cause and effect that would lead to the empire's eventual collapse. The fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD would mark the end of an era, a catastrophic event that would send shockwaves throughout the known world. The once mighty legions, now a shadow of their former selves, would be powerless to resist the barbarian hordes, as the empire's territories were carved up among the victorious tribes. The Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, would survive for another 1,000 years, a faint echo of the former glory, but ultimately succumbing to the same forces of decline and fall that had destroyed its Western counterpart. Gibbon's narrative would span this entire period, a sweeping epic that would cover the rise of Genghis Khan and Tamerlane, the medieval kingdoms of Europe, and the eventual fall of Byzantium, a testament to the enduring power of his vision. The ruins of ancient Rome, a haunting reminder of the transience of human greatness, would stand as a testament to the empire's former glory, a crumbling legacy that would continue to fascinate and intimidate in equal measure. As the centuries passed, the legend of Rome would grow, a mythic narrative of power and civilization that would captivate the imagination of scholars and laymen alike. Gibbon's work, with its meticulous research and elegant prose, would remain the definitive account of the empire's decline and fall, a masterpiece of historical scholarship that would continue to inspire and unsettle readers to this day. And yet, as we gaze upon the ruins of ancient Rome, we are reminded of the darkness that lurks at the heart of human history, a haunting conclusion that the greatest civilizations are not immune to the ravages of time and the forces of decay, a sobering reminder that even the mightiest of empires can fall, leaving behind only shadows and dust.